Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am finally going to be featuring the video of my Advance Wars match on the website Advance Wars by Web that the YouTuber Mangs posted. He didn't talk to me at all for this match. It's just I was part of his Egg Cup tournament, his own hosted tournament that he set up for all his fans to participate in. So it's not an official on the website tournament, but it is one that he organized himself, and everyone can play on the website. I made it all the way to round 8 or 9, I think. I have one more chance to play, but I think I'm pretty much letting that one go, because I've been really busy, and so I probably won't continue in the Egg Cup, but I wanted to feature this one because I thought it was a really nice match, and it's nice to be featured on, someone who I watch all his videos and his live streams, all the time. So it's really cool to be featured, and hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys don't know about Advance Wars, I have started the series, or at least playing the Advance Wars 1 campaign, which will show you guys the basic story of the characters as well as basics of gameplay for the game. And so if you want to learn about Advance Wars, go ahead and check out those videos. I'll put the link in the description for the first one, and then you guys can check out the rest. Or you guys can watch this game if you already know how to play, and hopefully you guys can see what I did and to win this match. Oh, spoiler, I do win this match. I was very proud of it, actually. But without further ado, let's get into this one. My name is Punchy on Advance Wars by Web. It is a nickname I've been going by since middle school, like long time ago. Like, I don't know, maybe even before middle school, like 20 years. So, why is just the name. My mom used to say like Punchy a lot, so I've been going by it. And we're going to go against Noellers. I will go ahead and let Mangs introduce most of the details. I will be commentating on the match itself. So let's go ahead and let Mangs introduce through his video, and then I'll talk about more as we go along.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mangs, and it's been a little while since I updated you guys on the Egg Cup, my casual Advanced Wars tournament that was open to everyone, over 1,000 participants. I think it's been a month since I made my last video. Sorry, I've been a little bit swamped by everything, working on my ROM hack, all the other projects that I have ongoing, and I'm leaving to the US to visit my girlfriend and her family in about a few days from now, so I'll be gone for 14 days. I really wanted to get this video out before I went. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have updated the bracket of the Egg Cup. I've created.
So we're going to go ahead and skip this section. We don't need to hear about the Egg Cup because you guys are not playing in it, and
because at this point we're facing someone who is
past this point.
I posted a map called Rivalry Lake. It won place in the map making contests, and it's a 2-base map that has like two. It has 2 fronts basically, and there's like a tiny bridge in the middle where you can try to reinforce units, but it's hard because there's forests here slowing your vehicles down. Because it's a 2-base map, the airport is kind of important because you won't see a lot of infantry in this particular game. So it's a tricky map to play on. It looks simple, but it's actually quite tricky. Now, let's take a look at our contestants, shall we?
Again,
Noellers versus Punchy. I have... Noellers I've definitely seen before. He's a 1200, almost 1300 MMR rated player, very strong. Punchy's definitely the underdog going into this fight.
So as you guys can see, he's looking at our user profiles, and Noellers, my opponent, this rating right here is pretty good, 1200. That's my goal that I'm trying to reach. At the time of this match, I was only 1092. I'm currently above 1100, and I'm working my way up. But it is difficult. Every match you win, you get like maybe anywhere from 10 to 30 points of rating, most likely. And every loss is about anywhere from like maybe 20, 18 or so. So, you probably lose more when you a rating than you win if you win your matches. So it's best to, work on your strategies and study your opponent, study the maps you're going to be playing on. And try to win the games as much as possible. But yeah, so on the website, some of the top rated players are around 50, like 14, 1500. So we're both a long way from that. It's going to take a long time for us to both reach, the best in the world. But, he's a good amount, to almost 200 rating higher than me. That's a lot of extra, wins that he's got under his belt. So we both have a decent record. It's pretty even. We both have like about 20 or so more wins than our losses, so that's always good. Don't worry about the boot record. That just means like if we went idle or we didn't play for a long time and then we got kicked out of the match. Sometimes there's logical reasons, like you just you had to go on vacation or you had a lot of work and you just could not play. But sometimes you just don't want to play a match anymore and you just let it go, and it'll automatically give you a loss and it'll just kick you out of the game. So, but yeah, he's definitely got a lot more experience than I do on the website. But we shall see how the match goes.
About 1100, so he is almost 200 rating points behind his opponent. He's going to make for a pretty tough opponent for Punchy right here. But this is a very interesting matchup. I dare say maybe one of my favorite matchups of Tier 1. We have Von Bolt versus Hawk. I like this matchup for multiple reasons.
Alright, so really quick, I will be using Hawk and my opponent will be using Von Bolt. These two are from the game Advance Wars 2, not Advance Wars 1. I'm currently making the series on Advance Wars 1's campaign. I will be doing Advance Wars 2 right after. So you haven't seen, or actually Von Bolt is actually from Advance Wars 3, Dual Strike for the DS. So you won't be seeing him for a long time. I might not even feature Advance Wars 3 on the channel. We will see. But I will be playing a lot of Advance Wars by Web games, and I will try and feature those on my channel for you guys to see. So you guys can see all the commanding officers from those games. But in general, Von Bolt is usually a stronger pick than Hawk. And Mangs will also explain it as well. He gets a passive day-to-day of 10% attack and defense. I only get a passive day-to-day of 10% attack, so I don't get that extra 10% defense. However, I do have a power and a superpower, whereas Von Bolt does not. He only gets one superpower. It's really good. However, on certain maps, it might not be as useful as others, and I'm pretty sure Mangs will explain the differences in the power. So let's go ahead and let him do that.
It's kind of like Hawk has a weaker day-to-day than Von Bolt, but he has a much stronger power. So what Hawk wants to do is he wants to stall the game and win kind of like a slow war of attrition by firing off multiple Black Storms. Whereas Von Bolt, he wants to end Hawk really quickly. He wants to punch fast, punch hard, bring down the Ex Machina, and just go for the juggler immediately. Because if it goes to a stall game, then Hawk gets progressively stronger due to global damage just adding up in value over the course of a match. Now, of course, one thing to keep in mind here is that we are playing on a 2-base map. 2-base map is not the best map to pick Hawk on, because the less units there are on the field, the less effective global damage becomes. So I would say that Von Bolt is definitely the best pick. This was a Tier 1 match. So, but we'll see. I mean, Noeller's clearly the higher rated opponent here. I'm interested in seeing if Punchy is able to punch above his weight class, so to say. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I say we just get started.
Alright, so before we continue on to the match, I got a little disagree with Mangs as far as choosing, why I chose Hawk. To me, yes, there's only 2 bases and there is an airport, so we probably won't be getting units out a lot of units out as quickly as possible. However, that's one reason why I did choose Hawk, is while we won't be able to get a lot of units out, that means when I use my powers, I'm going to be able to hit all the units that's available, and it's going to be harder for my opponent to get fresh full powered units onto the field, or he has to go back and for repairs. So I disagree that on a smaller map, less base map, that Hawk is a bad choice. I only agree if the map is small. Now this map is more of a medium to medium larger map. It's not a massive giant map, but it's definitely not small. And I think that's why me choosing Hawk isn't a bad idea, is there's plenty of time for troops to get deployed onto the field. I don't have to worry about the amount of units that are being deployed. So that's why I went with Hawk. Otherwise, I too probably would have chose Von Bolt, just like my opponent did. But yeah, so let's go ahead and let Mangs get into the match.
With this replay commentary, shall we? So, up in the white trunks, we have Noellers playing as the old man. Down in the black trunks, we have Hawk playing as the black hole, I guess? It's kind of like, you know, you remember that one time in Dual Strike where Von Bolt like attacked Hawk with a bunch of Lucium? I guess that's what we're seeing right now. This is the battle for black hole supremacy right here. Don't you guys think it's such a stupid thing that like Hawk wasn't the leader of the black hole in Dual Strike? Like, he should have been the main CO. Like, why did he let Von Bolt steal that position away from him? It doesn't make any sense. He's an old fart in a wheelchair. So dumb. Anyway, enough ranting about Dual Strike, shall we? So this is going to be a fairly simple, like, go for the airport quickly and then kind of fight on two fronts and see who wins. There isn't really a strong weak side. I'd say if there is a weak side, I'd say white player... I'd say maybe this is white player's weak side because it takes longer to reach with vehicles on this side. So this is but then again, if you look at this base, the vehicles have to pass through two forests. So I do actually think it ends up being sort of even.
So to follow up with him, technically, yeah, I don't think there is a strong or a weak side to this map. Strong and weak side meaning one side is a little bit more an advantage for one player than the other. But I think due to the, like he said, the forest and this mountain range here, for vehicles to come around and go this way, it takes just as long for these units to come over here, and we'll meet somewhere in this diagonal middle across the bridges. But also, he mentions how Noellers is going straight for the airport over here, and I did not. And the reason being is, even though you capture the airport, you're not really going to get battlecopters out anytime soon because we still need to get money. And we also can deploy tanks, artilleries, whatever, what other ground troops we need. So I find no hurry in getting this airport. I'd rather capture this city like I did here to get a few extra 1,000 funds over the course of the days that I'm trying to capture the airport right after. Like I said, it doesn't mean I don't want battlecopters. I do. But I'm not going to be getting them anytime soon because of how much money we make. Right now, we only get 4,000 per turn, 5,000, so we don't really make a lot of money. And battlecopters cost 9,000, so it will take time before we get battlecopters, and that's why I did not rush that airport.
Because if you look at this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it takes a tank 3 turns to reach this area. But if we took a look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess it's pretty similar, isn't it? And the airport's in the center. So I think the gimmick of this map is that there is no strong side, weak side. There's just two sides. I think the way the forests are lined up means that both bases will reinforce roughly the same. So I think that might be the gimmick of this map. It's not a strong side, weak side map. It's a strong side, or a weak side, I guess you could say. Maybe someone can see it differently, but that's what I'm seeing right now. Day 5 rolls in. Both players are just going to capture their properties here. Noeller's actually foregoing a city here. He decides to rush here to try and get the city over here. Interestingly enough.
I did the same thing over here as well.
First tank coming out from Noellers right here on the top side. Noellers is capturing his airport a lot quicker than Punchy, so you might be able to get some battlecopters out. Punchy opens up artillery. That's a bold move against Von Bolt, because Von Bolt's gonna have the edge going into the early stages of this fight. So opening up artillery, and look at how open the sides are. It's gonna be hard to position that artillery. I mean, once the units start building up, the artillery can definitely start finding play here. But I will say that it's definitely bold to open up artillery here.
And so I did open up artillery, and the only reason why is, as he's saying, it is going to be difficult to set up the artillery in position to hit my enemy's units. However, because of the terrain, it'll take a while for my units to get up, as well as it'll take a while for him to get over to me. And so what I plan to do is get the artillery moving. It'll be backing up these infantry, and he's not going to sacrifice a tank to attack an infantry as long as my artillery is guarding it. The tanks will move a little faster, and so they'll be able to reinforce a lot quicker, which is why I built the artillery so early.
But let's see if he can make it work. Punchy then follows it up with a tank immediately afterwards. And Noellers decides to get a tank, so he kind of splits up his tank in artillery. He gets the tank on the top side, artillery on the bottom side, whereas Punchy gets the artillery and the tank on the top side, seemingly. So Punchy is definitely going to try to focus more hard on the right front, or the top front. I guess they're both kind of top and bottom. Noeller's going double artillery right now. So he says, okay, I see your artillery opener, and I match you with a double artillery opener. So we're going to see a lot of artillery in this particular match, which is the right choice, I think, because again, I mean, the sides are kind of open, but once you get enough infantry in here, you can set up some very nice artillery wall. Double anti-air coming out from Punchy before even the first battlecopter. Now, this may seem a bit of a weird move. The reason I think he's opening double anti-air is, one, he knows battlecopters are coming. Two, I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think Hawk actually needs anti-air to break through von Bolt infantry walls, especially if the infantry are in forests and cities. I don't have the calcs in my head, but if I remember correctly, the extra defense means that Hawk needs that extra firepower from anti-air to punch through von Bolt's walls. Von Bolt's infantry walls are notoriously hard to dislodge. That 10% extra day-to-day defense, combined with terrain, means that it's just very hard to break through his formation.
Alright, and so to follow up again, yes, I went double anti-air, and the only two reasons, as he said, one, battlecopters are going to be very important on this map. He has yet to build a battlecopter, even though he went and captured that airport really early. So that's why I said not to rush the airport, because you're not going to have the funds to make the battlecopters. But two, they will come out. The second thing is, he went double artillery following his tank. So my tank can easily, and my artillery can easily take care of his tank. His artilleries need backup, and right now the best thing to do is build tanks to back those up. I built anti-airs because I can counter both any battlecopters he builds and all the infantry and the artilleries. They can't really do anything in close combat, so as long as I take out any walls around the artilleries, he can't do anything about it. And yes, you're going to have to build anti-air on this map. And I built two, one to go in each direction. So no matter where he sends his battlecopters, I will be able to counter them. So that's why I did that.
So I think he went double anti-air here because he saw the double artillery and he said, okay, I need something to break through those infantry
Just
walls.
like that.
I know the battlecopters are coming, but even if I don't, I need these anti-air to punch through. So Noellers is like, okay, you're gonna go double anti-air. I'm just gonna go double tank. I'm not gonna. Maybe he won't even build battlecopters after seeing those two anti-air. It's honestly not a bad choice. Punchy sets up a nice little artillery right here. I don't think there's any way Noellers can take that out.
My artillery is guarding the infantry, and he's not going to risk using a tank on those infantry.
And we are just going to see. Okay, so now he goes battlecopter, and wait, what? Okay. I thought he built the third anti-air. I was so confused, but no, he moved it onto the city. He moved it onto the city. Alright, he keeps capturing properties. Let's see what happens over here. He has to pull back here, surely. Noeller's doing the same thing on the left side. He brings the artillery down. Builds a battlecopter despite there being two anti-air and a battlecopter from Punchy. I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, it's a two-base map. You have to build battlecopters. So I kind of see why he did that. Alright, both players moving forward here. Punch is sending his battlecopter on the right side. So that's a smart thing because Noellers built his anti-air on the left side. So now he has to build. I mean, it's not hard for him to bring it over here. It would take about as long time, a little bit longer maybe. But it's still a smart thing to do. And yeah, here you can see this is why he needed the anti-air to break through these von Bolt infantry walls. Anti-air still can't kill von Bolt infantry on cities, but I think, if I'm not completely mistaken, I think they 100% one-shot them on roads and maybe on planes even, thanks to Hawk's extra firepower. So it is important to have them. Otherwise, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. Noeller's just setting up that old man infantry wall as von Bolt is known for. This is a strong positioning for the artillery here, covered by the mountain. Another tank rolls in as well. More battlecopters coming up from Noellers, builds an artillery and an infantry.
Alright, so just to, take a look at the map. Yes, Noellers is building up his little army right here. This is going to be very hard for me to even try to break through, especially with the small army that I have. Same thing over here. He's making his infantry in a way that I can't actually get through here to attack his artillery. I could attack, but I don't have anything to take care of this tank either. So right now he's setting up defensively, and it's actually very good. He's going to have a slight advantage in as far as taking territorial advantage. So
both players equal on the income tab right now. No player wants to take engagements just
so as you
yet.
guys can see,
They're just
he did say we're equal. However, I am missing this neutral city here. So his 18,000 to my 17,000. So already I'm at a huge disadvantage. He's already captured all of his properties on his side of the map. I have yet to capture this one neutral city. So I'm going to be constantly behind. And because his army is here, I can't get the city yet. So that means at least 3 turns away, I still, it'll take for me to even try and get the city. But with his army here, he's going to be defending it like crazy. And it's going to take more than, I think, 5 days even for me to even get this city.
setting up in defensive formations. This map ended up being a little stalling, but I promise you, this match is about to get exciting. Once both players have finished their walls, it's gonna get pretty wild. So Noellers brings in his battlecopter, just defending for the time being, using those cities pretty wisely, setting up his walls. Both players are just gonna build up their walls of their own. It's looking to be a pretty classic stall match so far, but it won't.
So he's speeding up a little bit here, just because it's
we're just gonna speed
not much
through
action
this right
happening.
here. Again, the classic fun bolt playstyle, right?
But as you guys can see, again, he's defending the city using his artillery. He's going to prevent me from even trying to capture the city. I'm not going to go and send infantry when I know I cannot kill his army. So right now, again, every day that goes by, every turn, he's getting an additional 1,000 funds, to add to his army. So his total value of his army is going to increase over mine, and you guys will see these numbers. The longer he holds it off from me, then the worse it gets for me. So, but here we go.
Here, the wall of infantry.
As you guys can see,
Punchy
I'm going to
decides
start
he's had
attacking.
enough of the walling. He goes in for the attack, actually, and finds a nice little hole in Funbolt's wall right here, using those anti-air to attack. Moving in, has 2 battlecopters. Suddenly, it's looking a little bit bad for the old man right here. So it's a beautiful attack from Punchy. He's definitely punching his way to victory right here.
So as you guys can see, this was my attack. I initiated the attack because I thought, hey, I can get a jump start on attacking him. As long as my anti-air is protected, my battlecopters are protected, his battlecopters can't really do much to my army. His anti-air can destroy my tank, and it can attack infantry, but it can't really do much else. And I'm fine with that. My artillery is in range to defend against the tanks, so my goal is to try and destroy these battlecopters, because Von Bolt's battlecopters, or his army in general, is slightly stronger than mine with that extra 10% defense. So the more units of his that I can take care of early on, the better, especially with this property missing from my army.
Let's see how Noellers decides to respond to this. He has 2 artillery in position, taking some beautiful shots right here. Coming in with his battlecopter.
So unfortunately, let my battlecopter get hit and my artillery get hit.
Devastating counterattack from Noellers right here. He is absolutely punishing Punchy right here. So this is looks like Punchy may have overextended a little bit here. He tried to swing, he tried to brawl with the old man, but it didn't go well. And see how beautifully Noellers plays this. He pushes here, he pulls back here. A lot of noobs, when they play this map, they'll try to punch on both sides. That's not a good idea. That's definitely not a good idea. It's the rubber band thing, as D just calls it, like the rubber band. Rubber band? He just calls it the rubber band, I think. Like you stretch it here, you have to pull it back here, otherwise it will snap.
But in a way, even though he's talking about how it's smart that he's pulling back here, I'm actually happy that he pulls back here, and the reason being, I can now surround this city with some more infantry, and it'll guarantee that I can get this capture. So that was a mistake to me on his part. He definitely should have kept a defensive position right here and prevented me from getting the city for as long as possible. Because our armies are really even here, it's not like I would really charge in for this one city to risk, half my army. So to me, this was a mistake on his part, and that might be what really changes this match.
More tanks coming out as well, and Punchy decides to keep the brawl going. I guess he is committed to it right now. All right.
So as you can see, I destroyed destroyed one battlecopter and heavily damaged the other. Yes, his anti-air is here, and it will take care of a battlecopter next turn. but that means I still came out with one battlecopter on top. Then his tanks can't really do anything about it. Granted, now I can't destroy the Anti-Air. I don't have a tank in the vicinity, so that's the only downside. But
good counterattack from Punchy right here. I thought he was dead for sure, but looks like he decided to keep rolling with the old man, and now he wants to grab this property as well. So now he's threatening 2 properties. A little bit overeager, this guy. I get why he's named Punchy now. He really likes to punch. More battlecopters and a tank coming out. Noeller's turn, rolls in, uses his anti-air to kill the battlecopter. Doesn't want to let him have the city. Infantry charging in, taking a lot of good shots, and this is where Von Bolt is so scary, man. Like, his day-to-day is just so much stronger than Hawk's. He can brawl much better than him, but of course, the Black Storm is coming up. And that's going to be an equalizer for sure.
Okay, and so to recap on this, yes, I actually lost a lot of my infantry here. However, I am going to successfully get this this property, and that's what I really wanted, so I can get my income to be equal with his. Because I didn't want to go more than what I think it was like about 5 days of lost income. If it hits like 10, that's like a whole battlecopter. If it hits 20 days, that's 20,000 that I'm down under. So I didn't want to let this go on too long. So I definitely had to make a push for the city, and I will get this now. Another thing is he actually charged his battlecopter in, and my anti-air is right here, so I can destroy his battlecopter on the next turn and not worry about it. So that was kind of a blunder on his part as well. He probably should just use a tank or maybe something else to attack.
So he charges in, does not attack the anti-air, funnily enough, decides to go for the infantry rather than the anti-air. He realizes the anti-air is going to get repaired up anyway, so he doesn't really bother with it. And you can see battlecopters are being produced every single turn here. 2 base maps are tricky.
So I will say it is looking very grim for me, as you guys can see. My value is only 89,000 to his 110. That's almost a whole 20,000. I have no army up here. I have 2 healthy units. Maybe this battlecopter is reinforcing soon, but I've pretty much lost all my units here. He has a massive infantry army here. I only have, what, 2 tanks, 3 tanks maybe? A battlecopter and terror. So things are looking pretty bleak for me. But as he mentioned, our co-powers are going to come into play soon, and that's really where I'm going to shine. And this is why I chose Hawk for the match.
She gets a shot at a battlecopter, which is really nice.
So now that I have the city, I want to take a defensive position once more.
Out of range of this anti-air, which is beautifully played. But what's so hard about this map is knowing how many units to send to each side. Since you don't have a strong weak side dynamic, you kind of have to spread yourself evenly on both sides, which is why this map is so tricky to play, I think. So normally, I like to just pummel my strong side and just, like, almost ignore the weak side. But you can't really do that on Rivalry Lake. So here, Noellers is continuing his attack on the left side. He gets a good shot on the anti-air. He takes it out. So more anti-air will have to be built by Punchy at some point, but Punchy is about to get his Black Storm, and he will probably get it now. Noellers is getting pretty aggressive here, considering there's about to be global damage coming into play, but he doesn't want to let up. However, he is pulling some of his units back to get repaired, so that the Black Storm won't completely cripple his momentum. So, day 16 rolls in, or sorry, day 15 rolls in for Punchy. He can get the Black Storm this turn if he wants to. I don't know if he will, though. He's still about a star off. He takes a shot at some infantry right here. Yeah, looks like he's not gonna get it. He's very close. He is, oh my god, he's 2k away from getting Black Storm. Oh my god, that is so annoying. 2k away from getting Black Storm. He would have loved to get it on this turn.
And so, on contrary, actually, even if I had gotten my superpower, I actually would not have used it. I prefer to use my co-power when it's my turn. At the start if I can, or at the end if I'm already winning. Because I'm not currently winning the match, getting my Black Storm at the end, using it at the end, wouldn't have really done anything to help me. So right now, when I get my power, I want to use it after I've damaged his units and then hit him harder. If I used it at the end of my turn, these units would all become 8s, but he can just pull back and repair them, and then it would be as if nothing happened. So he says that I would have liked to have it on the end of my turn. That is not the case. I would actually like to wait until
it looks like it's
my
gonna
next
be one
turn.
more turn. So Noeller's here, sensing that Blackstorm is incoming, he pulls back smartly. He doesn't wanna take a Blackstorm and then get a push immediately
again,
in the face. So he's happy.
And again, this is where I think he's making the mistake that he's constantly pulling back a lot. He doesn't have to pull back a lot, especially on this right side. He doesn't have anything to worry about. I have 2 Copters, a tank. Well, his artilleries and his 2 tanks can take care of my tank alone. As long as his entire is safe, he can take out my Battlecopters one by one. So I think he's pulling back a little too much. He's going to let me gain my ground. He should have went after the city if he could, and take it in a couple turns. But no, he decided to pull back and let our income stay even. Same thing over here. I got the city, and he's backing up. Even though I think he has a massive army compared to mine. So to me, that's a mistake.
With his positioning right now, he's quite ahead in terms of value, but that's to be expected from Bolt. If he wasn't ahead, something would be wrong. So what he's doing right now, he's saying, I'm not going to give you that Blackstorm. If you want that Blackstorm, you're going to have to come and get it. I'm not going to give you those last few power charges. I'm not going to just sit back and let you build up your global damage. I am going to wait and force you to come forward.
And this is where, going with what he's saying, a very good thing for me that he's backing up. Because as he mentioned in the very beginning, the more units that I hit with my co-power, the more value I get out of it, because that's more units. I'm taking 20% of their HP away. That's 20% of his total army value. One thing about global damage dealers is you want to deal as much damage as possible, and so if there's only like 10 really strong units compared to like 20 really weak units, I might damage those 10, but they're still going to be really strong, like if they're all medium tanks or fighters and bombers. But if I take out like a whole bunch of tanks, anti-airs, infantry, battlecopters, then it's going to be really worth it for me because they won't deal as much damage and their defenses are a lot lower. So in this case, the more units he builds, the happier I'll be.
So here he's going back into the defense. He doesn't want to push. He doesn't want to push right now. And there's not that many properties he needs to guard. There's this property right here, and there's this property right here.
And again, he's letting up this ground
like, okay,
here.
Alright. I'm coming for that city.
And as you guys can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 over here battlecopters on the map. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So battlecopters are very important on this map. As you guys can see, you constantly want to make 3 units per turn if you can. That's the best way to win, is by having the numbers game on this one. But not always. If you can build other units, like maybe you want to build a medium tank or a rocket here and there, that might be a good idea too. But definitely having a numbers game is good. So that's why we have so many copters. He needs more anti-air, because that's really what I'm concentrating on, is my copters.
So Noellers here realizes he can't just sit back and let him have the city, but now he actually goes on the attack. Pretty hard, because he sees an advantage here on the left side. He has to interrupt this, of course. He knows he has to, but he's playing very safe.
And then here we go again. He's playing very safe. He balled up right here, far away from the city. I have my super. That means I'm going to recover up to 8 HP on this infantry, and then I'm going to surround it. And because he's so far away, he's not going to be able to save it. He's not going to be able to save it.
On this side right here, he's pulling back all the way to his base. Day 18 rolls in. Finally, Punchy gets the Blackstorm. Day 18 Blackstorm. That is a slow-ass Blackstorm. And you can see it equalizes the playing field. I want to go back and see how much damage that
so you guys can see in the top right,
total.
see how much damage my co-power does to him.
Noellers has 173,000. Blackstorm comes in, and it goes from 173,000 to 138,000. That is devastating. But can he capitalize on it? That's the big question. Can he capitalize on this global damage? Noellers has a strong formation. Being from Bolt, he's not as bothered by his units being weaker because he has that passive extra defense. So Punchy's kind of spreading out here. He can't really attack into this death ball right here, so he's going to try to just get a property out of it, and then probably he'll pull back. But Noellers,
so he does risk the anti-air to save this property.
No way, I'm not going to let you
but that's an almost 8,000 unit that he's sacrificing to save his city.
Overcommit here. It's very hard to attack on rivalry, which is why matches do tend to go on for a while. But it's Punchy's turn again. He joined caps. He really wants to get that city. And he's positioning his battlecopters. The battlecopters are in a pretty good position right now because they can actually front switch. You can front switch over here on Rivalry Lake, but it's hard to do so. It's very hard to do so. Because you have to go over this bridge right here. But the battlecopters have no such limitations. So let's see what happens here.
So, if you guys take a look at the map, my units are really spread out. There's maybe 3 at most in a group at any time. The reason why my units are being spread out like this is Von Bolt is about to get his superpower, Ex Machina, and it attacks in kind of like a plus sign, in a way, in a 2 square radius, like this. So it's going to hit some of my units, and it's going to disable them for a whole turn, as well as dealing 3 damage. So I won't be able to use them, and it's a really good power. I actually love it, but with my units spread out like this, he's not going to hit a lot. Now, if I was using it and I hit any of these balls of units, it would really cripple my enemy. But my units are not balled up like this one in a defensive formation. I'm trying to keep them spread out so that way I can minimize the amount of units that get hit, as you guys will see.
Coming in, my goodness, this is a battlecopter map and a half, isn't it? In comes the tanks. And the Ex Machina, finally! And it hits 2 battlecopters, an anti-air, and a tank. So
as you guys can see, it hit right here in this nice little plus formation. It's devastating, that's for sure, because I won't be able to help push and reinforce up here. But as Mings will explain, it is not the best one.
The stun, not really that big a deal, but it does a little bit of... But you can see Von Bolt's power just isn't as consequential as Hawk in this match. The Ex Machina isn't what Von Bolt is known for. It's the 10% extra defense that really makes him scary. The Ex Machina here didn't really amount to much. Punchy just has too many units around his battlecopters, but now it looks like Noellers is actually trying to cross the bridge a little bit, which is something you don't really see often. Day 20 rolls in with no clear winner in sight. Noellers has a clear unit count advantage, but against global damage, that isn't as big a deal as you might think it is. Because, of course, more units means you take more damage.
Look how many battlecopters I have.
But Punchy's preparing for the defense right here. Neither player taking this quite yet. Noellers decides to attack, taking out an anti-air. Now he's threatening this city. And he's actually going in with the battlecopters right now. Charging in. The anti-air coming into play as well. Now he's actually going to start moving over the bridge in the center. But he can't completely relent on this front either, because this city is in danger. He doesn't want to let Punchy take that. But he's moving in right now. He's trying to join his forces in the middle, even though that's very hard to do with a narrow bridge. But so far, it's looking like Noellers is starting to race ahead again. Punchy's turn rolls in. Here comes the counterattack. He takes out the anti-air. He's got a lot of battlecopters. Even takes out the anti-air with battlecopter fire. You love to see it. Ooh, it looks like his battlecopter count is going to see him come out on top here. But look at all the units that Noellers has coming towards him. It's actually...
So if you guys take a look really quick, yes, I've moved in my battlecopters here. He has 3 somewhat healthy battlecopters, maybe in this 4th one over here, to attack my army. However, even though he has 4 anti-air over here, they have to go through this forest as well as around this mountain in order to get to my copters. There's tanks and infantry here blocking as well. So he's not going to easily destroy my copters with these anti-air, which is why I didn't hesitate to move in.
It's pretty scary. I don't know if I would... it's very hard to see who's ahead right now. They both seem to be very evenly matched, but look at the power bar. It's filling up really
And again,
fast.
I have 2 copters to his 1 over here, so I'm not afraid to send my copters in.
And that is going to be tough for Noellers to deal with. Day 22 rolls in. Noellers has 2 armies here. Punchy has started to take control of this bridge right now, but looks like Punchy definitely has the battlecopter lead. Although Noellers has quite a few battlecopters off his own. Let's see what happens here. Tank comes in. Anti-air takes down the tank. And it's just so hard to reinforce on this particular map. He attacks, dealing decent damage to the battlecopter. Takes out the tank on the bridge. And it's just a complete battlecopter slugfest in the center, right? Look at how many battlecopters he's taken out from Punchy, though. It's this powerful attack from Noellers right here. But you can see this map is just so hard to traverse. He's now completely giving, like, he has to give up this property right now, but he's okay with doing that because he's about to get this one over here. Built some mech? Okay, interesting. I guess he just wants unit count at this point. So Noeller is definitely ahead in terms of unit count, but 37 to 20.
Alright, and so as you guys can see, massive counterattack here on Noeller's part. He really hit me hard. I've lost a good, half of the army that was here, but he left this army totally untouched, and he retreated here. These two copters can easily fly over and help out this side, so that's 2 more copters that can join the battle, as well as the tanks and such can go in the middle and keep him from reinforcing. I also have my super once again, and it's going to come into play heavily.
25 units. That's going to hurt with Black Storm. 159,000 unit value. Black Storm comes in. Let's see how it equalizes. Punchy repairs himself up to 133,000, brings his opponent down to 123,000 global damage.
And that's before I've even done any combat for this turn. This is why I want to make sure I use my super at the start of the turn. So he has 123,000 now. He was at 150,000. Let's see how much his value will be at the end of my turn.
It's just so damn strong. His opponent unit count is kind of working against him here, and now those walls are so much easier to crack. He even combines his battlecopters, which is pretty smart, but he has to be careful because an Ex Machina is about to hit. He needs to soak that Ex Machina. Still very hard to see who's going to come out on top of this. It really depends on Noeller's next turn.
So again, the Ex Machina is going to come in, so I'm spreading my troops a little bit so they don't get massively attacked.
Day 23 rolls in. Let's see what Noeller decides to do. Takes a shot with his artillery. Manages to pick up a battlecopter. Very smart. And here comes the Ex Machina. Where is it going to hit? It hits on the right-hand side. This is beautiful. This is exactly what he wanted.
So he neutralizes my copters and my tanks. But the thing is, these units are disabled for a whole turn. And what's going to happen is he's actually just going to go ahead and kill them. So in a way, his power really didn't help him all too much. It just helped him damage the units that are there. All these units are nice and healthy, as well as he's really close to my base and my airport, so I can easily reinforce. So it's technically a good thing for me.
Now he's pushing hard on
and
the
all
right
his
side
infantry
right
are damaged, so I'm not worrying about him capturing my properties.
He's coming
really
in hard
quickly.
on the HQ. This is looking bad for Punchy. He needs to be careful. His HQ could actually come under threat if this goes on. But at the same time, Punchy is pushing hard on the left side. He knows that an attack is coming. He has 10 units ahead of his opponent, but their value is still equal because that global damage is just so damn strong. Punchy now tries to defend his HQ at all costs. He has to switch over some tanks, takes out the anti-air. He gets the property, so for the first time in the match, he's now 2k ahead of his opponent in terms of income. These mountains prevent the anti-air from reaching.
So now I've taken the income lead over him
safe.
by 2,000.
Punchy now has to switch over. He's also moving his forces towards
threatening the city as well.
He wants to try and get a bit of an income advantage over his opponent. This is a tense match right here. I have no idea who's going to come out on top. Day 24 rolls in for Noellers. And he just resigns. Oh, okay. I guess he realizes he can't keep up the global damage. I mean, right. I really thought the match was going to go on longer, but looking at this match right now, I think one of the reasons Noellers is resigning here is because he realizes that Hawk's global damage is going to keep decimating him. I mean, this is day 24, so if he's going to keep this up, it's going to be really hard for him to do that. Yes, he has a unit count advantage lead, but it doesn't matter because that just means more damage gets caused by global damage. And yes, he will get this property, but Punchy will get this property, and he also has superior battlecopter numbers. And look at also another thing that is probably the reason why Noellers resigned. Look at his anti-air. 3 HP anti-air here, 1 HP anti-air here, 6 HP battlecopter. He's just going to get decimated by battlecopters. Look, Punchy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 healthy battlecopters about to enter the fray. Noellers just doesn't have any anti-air. The only anti-air he has is all the way over here, trapped behind mountains. He needs to build the anti-air from this factory right here, and it will spend 3 to 4 turns reaching the front lines. He has to pull back here, which means Punchy can attack him here, take a bunch of properties. So yeah, Looking at this position right here, I understand why Nollers are signed. I would have liked to see him go on for a couple more turns just to see if there was something he could have done, but he most likely would have been beat. So looks like the underdog actually won this. I do believe Punchy is the lower rated here. Yeah, it's a really good performance by Punchy right here, going up against a much higher rated opponent. And playing as Hulk on a two-base map even. That's not something I really expected to see, but a really interesting matchup. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out the Egg Cup brackets. As I said, I'm going away for 2 weeks starting on Saturday, so I won't be here.
Alright, so pretty much he talks about what he's going to be doing in the future. You guys don't need to see that. If you guys want to find out, you guys can always watch this video on YouTube. It is still on his channel. I will post the link in the description to this video as well. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys really enjoyed this matchup. It was a match that I was really proud of. I was losing at one point, but like I said, the more he pulled back and played defense, the more I can get my co-power, and the more I can get an advantage by using my co-power to deal 20% to his entire army across the entire map. Like I said, his power only focuses in a small section. It doesn't apply to the entire map. And even though he had that huge Ex Machina right here, he only destroyed those units. This army untouched, and because this army is untouched, he has to retreat here. And so while he's retreating over here, some of my copters can fly on over to this side and help out. And because he's so close to my base, it's easy for me to reinforce. And again, because of the Black Storm, my global damage, all his infantry over here are damaged, and it's going to take forever for him to capture properties. Whereas with my healthy army, I slowly took each of these cities, soon to be this one if he kept playing. And so, you know, that's why to me, Hawk is a little bit better than Von Bolt in most cases. Smaller maps, Von Bolt takes the cake all the time. His defense is a lot better on smaller maps. But when it comes to bigger maps, Von Bolt loses his usefulness. He actually becomes a lot weaker the bigger the map is. So, yeah, it was a really good matchup. I had a lot of fun with this one. I think it was like, what, turn 12 or something. I actually felt like resigning because I thought I was going to lose. But I try not to resign unless I'm like really losing or I'm about to lose. Because you never know what might happen. And that's the fun of Advanced Wars is, depending on what your co-powers are, it can change the map in an instant. And that's what I was hoping for this one. So, you know, I hope you guys really enjoyed this match. If you guys do play Advanced Wars, you know, you guys can always send me a message on Advanced Wars by web. Say, hey, we can play a match. And I'd be down to play any match against any of my friends or any of you guys if you want to play a match. And if you guys are new to Advanced Wars, please check out my Advanced Wars series. I just started last week. And we're going to go through Advanced Wars 1 campaign as well as Advanced Wars 2. I will feature more Advanced Wars by web matches as I finish them going forward. And I'll post them onto my channel. I'll make analysis videos just like Mings did for me and Noellers here. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy this. If you're new to Advanced Wars, hope you get into it. And after seeing this one, it's really fun. It's a nice strategy game. And you can play online against players on the website Advanced Wars by web. And yeah, so if you guys want to play, send me a message. Otherwise, I guess I'll see you guys in the future videos. Again, I'll post more videos like this one, not like analyzing, but Advanced Wars replays, because these are really good to learn from, not only for myself to analyze my match, but also for you guys to see different strategies and how different people play. I really looked up to Noellers because I've seen him on Mangs' channel before, and he's a really good player. But as Ming said, me being the underdog, I played exceptionally well, and I came out on top. And this made me even happier because it is in his, if I move my camera, in his Egg Cup tournament here. I progressed through the rounds. This was only like round 5, I think. And so I stopped after round 8. I started losing. I think I lost round 7 and 8. But in general, I was doing pretty good. I was undefeated up to through this point. So, I was facing similar skilled players. So, I'm getting pretty good at Advance Wars, and the more I play against especially people who are better than me, the more I learn. So hope you guys loved this video. Leave a like, comment down below what you guys thought of it. Please subscribe if you have not. I've noticed actually lately that my videos are getting less and less viewers from that are subscribed, and more from people who aren't. So if you are not subscribed yet, please press the subscribe button to check out more content that I put out. There's going to be a variety of games that I'm going to be putting on this channel. We're going to be continuing Halo. We're playing Fire Emblem, Advance Wars. Soon there's going to be a Modern Warfare 3 Call of Duty game coming out, and I will actually be playing that. And I'll see if I could post videos of my online gameplay. That should be fun. Or I'll do live streams too. And hope you guys will be tuned in for that one. So, subscribe to the channel, please. It'll help me a lot. And then more players can see these videos, and I can maybe even get more Advance Wars matches going. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.